In this video, we are going to look at the salt solubility and preparation. Okay, so we learn in neutralization reaction with my acid plus base or acid plus alkali, it gives me salt and water. So what are salt? Okay, so all these names over here, these are all common salts, and you can use them in your common daily products. Right, so that's why we are going to learn what are salts, how do we prepare them. Okay, so just to give you an illustration, like magnesium sulfate, this is used in Epsom salt. So this is found when we go and do spa. We put in the Epsom salts. Okay, and then like zinc sulfide, this is also a salt and we use it for paints. So all the chemicals that you deal with daily, like shampoo, soap, all your cleaning reagents, look at it, you will definitely find salts inside them. Okay, so how are salts formed? Okay, salt, by definition, it is an ionic compound where the metal ions replace the H plus ions. Okay, so look at this example over here. I have my alkali sodium hydroxide plus hydrochloric acid. In this example, I always take the metal, kick out the H plus, and you will get a salt, NaCl. Okay, so there will always be two parts to a salt, and generally we can classify it as like that. Yeah, most common salt, sodium chloride. Okay, so salt is made out of two parts. The second part will come from an acid, hydrochloric acid. Okay, and the first part will usually come from the four reactions that we learned. So the first reaction is metal plus hydrochloric acid, sodium plus hydrochloric acid, you get sodium chloride, that's your salt. Metal oxide, example sodium oxide plus hydrochloric acid. Same thing, I take the sodium, kick out the H, you get NaCl. Okay, and then you learn about the oxides and hydroxides, so this is your base and your alkali. Take the sodium, kick out the H, you get NaCl, which is your salt. Or a carbonate plus acid. Okay, take the sodium, kick the H, you still get NaCl. Right, so salts are formed based on second part, the chloride or the sulfate or the nitrate will come from the acid. Chloride comes from HCl, sulfate, a sulfate salt will come from sulfuric acid, a nitrate salt will come from nitric acid. And the first part will come from the four reactions that you learned before, either the metal oxide and hydroxide, which is your base or alkali, and the carbonate reaction. Okay, waters of crystallization. So most of the time the salts formed are crystals. Okay, they are often formed by crystallization from aqueous solution and thus have water molecules bounded to them. So water is known as water of crystallization. Okay, salts that contain water of crystallization, we call them hydrated salt. So salts that are wet, sometimes we represent it by this formula H2O. Okay, if water content is not enough to actually dissolve the salt, but there are water surrounding it, it is hydrated, and it will look like crystals. Okay, and then if you heat a hydrated salt, it will leave an anhydrous salt. So anhydrous means dry. So there's no water content. Okay, a common example of your hydrated salt is your copper 2 sulfate, and it's blue. If you heat it, it will turn white. Right? It's not because it decomposes, it's because the water is lost and the original crystals, which are dry, are white.